Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today the year is 43 AD and the Claudian invasion of Britain has begun as two generals begin their preparation for a confrontation, with the Bloodless playing as the Romans in red, getting ready to duke it out with Survivalist playing as the Britons in blue. Now all the players heard their herdables explore their immediate and closed off surroundings because we find ourselves on Arena today, and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age, probably Castle Age ASAP. Not a bad opportunity for us to take a look at the two civilizations that we will be watching today. The Romans are a mixed land-based naval civilization with a few strong unit features that make them very, very dangerous. To start with, their infantry units get double the effect of blacksmith armor upgrades, and they have access to the Legionary. This is a tanky, well-armored, unique infantry unit that actually replaces their two-handed swordsmen and their champions, and comes with a decent attack bonus against other infantry units. Now, to make their infantry, their legionaries, even deadlier on the field of battle, the Romans can turn to a second unique unit, the Centurion. This is a heavy cavalry unit that increases both the movement speed and the attack speed of any militia line units under its command. Now, to overwhelm their opponents with numbers on the battlefield, the Romans can actually upgrade their entire militia line, knight line, and centurion units to not only train 50% faster than normal, but also to come with a +5 charge attack, similar to the Burgundian Custelier, although of course much smaller. Then to back up their infantry army, the Romans do have access to one of the deadliest scorpions in the game. Not only do these siege units cost a lot less gold, and when I say a lot, I mean it's 30 gold compared to the usual 75, their minimum range is reduced from 2 to 1, and they can be upgraded to fire 33% faster. That help a player get to the later stages of the game, maintain the might of the Roman Empire. Roman villagers do gather resources and build and repair structures 5% faster than generic villagers. Now, who might want to stand in the way of the encroaching Roman Empire? We've got Survivalist playing as the Britons, getting ready to defend his, let's call it arena homeland here. A civilization built around supporting its ranged units are the Britons. Their archery ranges work 10% faster than normal. Their foot archers, except for skirmishers, get free extra range in Castle and then even more in Imperial. And if that's not enough range for you, all of their foot archers can be upgraded to get +1 range. Now, all of this vitamin R is fantastic news for their unique unit, the Longbowman. This is a pretty decent foot archer that comes with a massive 12 tiles of range when it's fully upgraded. Now, speaking of range, Briton Trebs are also some of the most powerful in the game because they can be upgraded to do trample damage, which for a Treb is called blast damage, and they also can be upgraded to have 100% accuracy against stationary non-moving units. Now, to support their military production, Britain town centers come in at a 50% wood discount, and their shepherds work 25% faster than normal, which does help with a bit of an early game food boost. So those are the two civilizations we've got before us, the Britons, the Romans. Many historic analogies, many different ways to open up this game. And I am very curious to see how Survivalist plays this. We've seen the Britons lose out to a number of siege-related or siege-adjacent civilizations, and the Romans, who recently lost out very in a very sour way, might I add, lost their Scorpion ballistics uniqueness. We'll see whether or not we see any Scorpions. Now, the Britons, for being an archer civilization, or I should be more broad, being a ranged civilization, their infantry line is pristine. They have access to all barracks upgrades. They have access to all blacksmith upgrades. Now, of course, facing off against an infantry unit that comes with a +4 attack bonus against other infantry units, a +5 charge attack on top of that, quicker movement, quicker attack, quicker training time. The Legionary is not a unit to be scoffed at. So we'll see whether or not we get to see an infantry versus infantry battle as Bambi gets pushed into the town center, and beautiful push there by the Bloodless. And as I mentioned all the time with these two players, I'm very excited just by virtue of these two players. I don't really care what civilizations they can have. They can both be playing the Britons, they can both be playing the Romans, they can both be playing a 46th civilization that nobody's even come up with yet. It doesn't really matter to me. What I really appreciate is the fact that these two players love to come across one another and just beat each other to a bloody pulp, electronically, of course. I'm sure in real life they would be very much friends, sharing a Briton beer at a Briton pub, or a Roman decanter of wine at a Roman where do Romans drink wine? I don't know where. The local Roman pub, and then they go to the vomitorium. I'm not as familiar with Roman drinking habits as I am with all of the saying I'm familiar with Britain drinking habits. Also makes no sense in any event. We're on Arena. A few important things to look at. Where are those internal resources, and how close are they to walls? How close are they to being lamed by monks and siege and ranged units and towers and castle pushes? It looks like Survivalist does have his primary stone and gold. To the rear, he's already on stone, is our Briton, who is not yet clicked up to Feudal Age. Our Roman, 1 minute away off the back of 2 fewer villagers, is housed, but not really relevant since he can't really train anything out of anywhere at the moment. Might want to start thinking about plopping down a house. He's going for a barracks first. Is he going to hit Feudal Age housed? That's not going to be good for the Bloodless. Hello? At least when you hit the 25-second mark, because 25 seconds is how long it takes to build a house with a single villager. And here we go. Look at that timing. I think he is still going to be housed, maybe? Let's take a look at just how close the Bloodless is cutting it. 3, 2, 1. Look at that. House completes a millisecond before he hits Feudal Age. Wow. Absolutely epic. The gameplay out of these two players. I'm expecting big things. Just like Survivalists, L or J, depending which direction you tilt your head. Actually, no, it doesn't. This is a J shape. This is an L shape. Both of these patches in the forward-ish position, but not too at risk. And it looks like also like Survivalist, he has his primary stone and gold to the rear. This is the next thing you kind of want to look for. Weak points in your wall off. This is annoying. These are two civilizations that I believe do not get siege onagers, but what they do get are regular onagers, which means that instead of having to deal with an 1800 HP wall, assuming it's not fortified, and then it goes up to 3000 HP, they just need to cut down some trees, and then they can bust their way into this Roman base to the south. Oh, goodness gracious, Roman base to the north. Survivalist, for his part, nice unbroken wall here. And he is going for the good old market blacksmith. I clicked the house inside of the market blacksmith combo. And he already has the resources he needs to click up the castle age. So the second these two structures complete, the second this villager finishes being birthed, Survivalist is going to click up the castle age. But our Roman, again, a minute away, heads up there a little bit quicker. The fact that he went market stable tells me that he's going to try to get the relics. Survivalist doesn't even have a barracks, which means he's not going to have a stable. We'll see whether or not he decides to go with monk play of any kind, because he's already at 650 stone. So the question is not if Survivalist is going to place down and plop down a castle, but the question is where. Arena generally follows 3 stages, although I believe we may see a bit of a deviation from that, since Survivalist doesn't seem like he wants to contest relics at all. In stage 1, the players, as they're doing right now, at the 14-minute mark of the game, they both rush up to the castle age. Our Roman will hit it first. There we go. Buildings get a little nicer, a little cleaner. The vineyards, the vines growing up the structures get a little bit more mature. Second TC going up for him as well. Got a bit of a chase. So stage 1, everyone rushes up to the castle age. Stage 2, once they're in castle, they train monks out of monasteries to collect these physics-defying structures that only several people like Thor's hammer can lift. Ooh, Survivalist has to be careful. He's entering into a bit of a nook. And then once the 5 relics on the map have been accounted for, and it looks like Survivalist might have wanted to go relics, because 1, 2, 3 are literally right next door to his base. I mean, it would be silly not to go for relics, right? Maybe he will without any kind of monk coverage. I'm not sure what's going on. But the chase here continues, as it looks like our Roman is plopping down a 3rd town center to the back, right as Survivalist plops down a 2nd and a forward castle. We'll take a look at that once we see this. I mean, this is just hilarious. No, why did Survivalist stop? He stopped because he was tired of living. Okay, fair enough. Roman TC to the back. Lots of wood gathering. Oh, and when you build your structure with a corner exposed, is it any surprise the Bloodless here with his line of sight is going to attack the castle? Although, what the hell is he going to do to that castle? Realistically, 2 TCs to the back. Survivalist opting to go for mining camps for his resources. Castle should secure the gold here. Unfortunately for him, his opponent has already seen the castle. And do we have a monastery? Yes, we do, out for the Roman, who does not yet have a monk out. So Survivalist, again, ceding map control, and more importantly, ceding relic control, except maybe this relic. We'll see whether, if the Bloodless can get this relic with a monk, maybe by bloody, oh my god, I want to say body blocking, and of course my mind jumbled those two words into one, by body blocking with a bunch of light cavalry units, he might be able to. And we're already seeing longbowmen at the 18-minute mark of the game. Okay, all right. So he wants to make use of that range. Right now we are in castle. He does have fletching, which would normally add +1 range, but because he is the Briton, it adds another, or rather he gets another +1 free range. And then stage 2 is over once all the relics, getting back to the point I was making about a million years ago. Stage 2 of the game ends when all 5 relics are accounted for and taken by the various monks to their various monasteries. And then stage 3 begins, where the players build armies and clash them into one another. Although it looks like Survivalist kind of just wants to skip straight into stage 3 here. Ooh, bye-bye scout. Did he manage to get the attack? It didn't look like it. No, these are 3 fully healthy Briton longbowmen. Make that 4 with a good old amount of range. Survivalist has no resources whatsoever. He's down 2 villagers. And what is our Roman building behind this? More and more housing. He wants to boom right now. He's got a defensive siege workshop training a scorpion. Okay. This, if we see scorpions with ballistics out of the Bloodless, I'm just going to throw my hands up in the air and roll my eyes so hard they might actually just fall out of my head. Because if you saw the game 2 days ago with Hera playing as the Romans, going ballistic scorpions, and all of a sudden everybody remembers that the Romans were the OG ballistic scorpion civilization. Okay. All of a sudden it's like dealing with toddlers. You know, if you take away, what am I trying to say? If you take away something that they want, all of a sudden the interest in that thing, even though they may not have wanted it, I don't think I've ever seen this much scorpion play from the Romans before they took away this feature. But now that they've taken the feature away, everyone is kind of like, well, now I want it. You obviously took it away from me. Now I want it. No ballistics for either player. It looks like a minute away is our... Yeah, so he is going ballistics. He is going ballistic scorpions. Ooh, Survivalist. Okay, does get 1 relic. There's a second and a third. So I thought he was going to ignore the relic game. Too cool for school, I thought, was our blue Briton. But in fact, he is not too cool for school. He may be too cool for this scorpion, though, as he dies. Will the scorpion get the monk? Will he get the monk? The monk has the move. Come on. And the scorpion falls. Monk survives. 2 relics to 1 for our Roman, but it might as well be 3 to 2 at this point. Survivalist might want 1 more monk just so he can heal this monk, or at the very least put him inside the castle, or at the very least move out with your longbowmen once they're healed up a bit more and shoot away these scorpions. Now the problem for Survivalist, as amazing and as fun and as cool as everyone's first love in Age of Empires, the Briton longbow is, its attack is a 7 against a unit with 7 armor, which means these longbowmen do 1 damage, and now they're I mean, the range is the same. Oh no, pardon me. Oh, I apologize. I didn't see that he had completed Bodkin. So the range is 1 more, and now he attacks on an 8 against the unit with a 7 pierce armor number, but that doesn't really matter. If you attack the scorpion with an attack of a 7 or an 8 in Age of Empires without any bonuses, you still just do the same 1 damage. So Bodkin didn't really add any more DPS, damage per shot, to the longbow. What it did add is a bit of range, which means they can, in theory, outrange these scorpions, which is why I'm wondering why he's being so not aggressive with his longbowmen. But therein lies the problem with the Britons, their lack of a heavy hitter. We'll see whether or not that comes to bite Survivalist in the butt. As, oh my god, I was so cocky, so confident that he was going to get that 1 relic. But it looks like it might be 3 relics to 1 or 3 relics to 2 if Survivalist decides to go after that relic. It looks like these scorpions are starting to get villager kills now as well. Oh, that's not good at all. 2 villager kills so far, and Survivalist gets the last relic. Deletes his own wall segment here so that he could exit without having to run into these very annoying patrolling scorpions. And where is he going with these longbowmen now that the relics have been gathered? And look at how little damage they do. Wow. This is just unfortunate for the Romans. Pardon me, for the Britons. And the scorpion gets repaired to full health. We'll see what these longbowmen can accomplish. For now, the line of sight on them is pretty damn good, which means he should be able to get a lot of information. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of information to be got here. There are 2 scorpions hot on his tail. Movement speed here is advantage Survivalist, 0.96 to 0.65. Not exactly Mongol scorpions. Let's see. Loses 2 on the path of exploration. Uh-oh. Where do these 2 come from? And oh my god, Survivalist. No, he gets surrounded. I mean, why were the Romans not doing this before they lost access to this ballistics feature? I don't know. If you're going to go longbows, you definitely need more than 1 castle. You're not going to be able to meet the production output of your enemy with 1 castle. And let's see what Red is doing. Let's see Red's line of sight. He's right in the center of the map. He knows he's facing not exactly the fastest civilization on its feet, so he plops down a external 4th town center next to the stone. Plenty of space for farming. Scorpion doesn't quite see the castle. Both players heading up to Imperial, and again, it is our Roman who is just beating out Survivalists to the next age over and over and over again. Heavy Scorpion for him. Somebody needs to get siege engineers here. If I'm not mistaken, these are 2 civs that do have siege engineers. Yeah, there's siege engineers for you. There's siege engineers for you. Scorpion enters the wrong part of town, takes 1 volley, takes a 2nd volley, and dies. Otherwise, everyone's going to be stuck at the good old 7 range here. And now let's look at the numbers from a 12 to a 16 attack on these heavy scorpions with ballistics. Mangonels entering also their death. I'm surprised that he pulled them, those villagers. And there's siege engineers for our Roman Survivalist. Imperial, what are you going to do? Immediately 2 trebs. He's deleted his wall off here as well, by the way. So he is a bit exposed, and he's going Onager. Okay, Onager, fantastic. Will increase the range of his Mangonel units from 7 to 8. Au naturel. 2 forward castles for our Roman. Trebs being trained as well. Okay, so stage 3 of the game beginning in earnest, and it is our Roman who sets foot into the map, dips his toe into the proverbial waters. First Survivalist, as he's been doing in the past, playing very defensively. And there's the Werewolf Treb. The worst thing to be in this game is a villager repairing a Treb that is fighting a Werewolf Treb. Because the Werewolf Treb will not miss the Red Treb, and every ball that lands does blast damage that kills villagers. It is the worst thing in this game to be a villager repairing in a Treb war. And here we go again. I've said this earlier. Oh, they're about to become siege rams. Oh, they're about to become siege rams. That's so sour. This is where the Romans... Oh my god, again I did it. The Britons. Oh my god, I need to whack my head with a bat or something. This is where the Britons really start shitting the bed. As amazing as the longbowman is, 12 range when fully upgraded, and he's gone up to 18. I'm not sure where they are. Inside the castle? Yeah, they're inside the castle. Siege ram attacking, it looks like the mining camp behind the castle. Okay, now the villagers are gonna have to take the long way to the town center and be exposed because the castle is down. But what do you do for the Britons here? Do you leave them alone? Do you give them something? I've been lately toying with the idea because, hear me out. In a 1v1 open map like Arabia, you rarely see longbows as opposed to archery range units like the arbalesters. They're just, it's more cost effective to go arbalesters. What if you were to give the longbow a +2 attack bonus against siege. What would that look like? Ram looks like it has fallen. Probably one of these villagers. No, maybe not one of these villagers. Maybe the longbowman. Somebody got that ram. What would the world look like if the longbowman came with a +2 attack bonus against siege weapons? Or what would the world look like if the Britons... I did it again. I said Romans. What would the world look like if the Britons got siege rams? Something heavy. Like I said, their infantry line, pristine. Their champions are fantastic. One-on-one, they'll beat out a Gothic champion. One-on-one, they'll beat out a lot of champions, of course, ignoring the costs and all that stuff. Just one-on-one. The problem is when you're facing off against now basically any civilization with heavy scorpions, infantry is now even more useless than it was, and it was pretty damn useless. Who's kidding who? I don't like to say things like that in this game in Age of Empires, but infantry was pretty damn useless before, and infantry has just been rendered even more useless now. Siege engineers getting got for our Briton. So these 8 range are going to become 9 range, which means he's going to be able to outrange this scorpion. You are not a Khmer Khmer scorpion. So all of a sudden, Survivalist does have an answer, and it looks like he is crushing the forward position. The problem is if I just pan the screen a little bit to the left, holy moly, 7 siege workshops have gone up for our Roman. Although you can't have a stationary unit against Werewolf Trebs. That being said, the Werewolf Trebs shouldn't be firing on units that are moving. So we're in the usual war of attrition here between a civilization that doesn't have a very good answer to scorpions, like the Britons, their only real answer being right now this onager, and a civilization with very powerful scorpions. Okay, villagers should be able to get this ram. I'm hoping the onager doesn't fire on it and kill those villagers. Yeah, it falls. Looks like they killed a ram down here as well. So Survivalist is holding. He's getting his ram, my goodness, his onager count up to 13. But again, the Britons, let me know in the comments, what do you think? What can we give the Britons to make them a little bit safer from heavy siege, but not make them too OP? I'm thinking something siege bonus specific related. Like, again, I want to encourage more longbow play, and I want to see more longbows, and I want to see them not die to siege rams, because this is just a huge glaring weakness of the Britons. Although I'm sure there are people who will say that's the whole point. You can't have a civilization that has it all. And so this is where creativity and clicking and micro and macro and all of this comes into play. Survivalist, fantastic attack rounds there. Again, he is holding, but aside from onagers, he's got nothing here. And now that we've seen some Roman light cav, and now that he's going up to 10 more, his onagers are exposed AF. We've got 2 scorpions, and they are out for blood. Let's see how many villager kills they can get. So far, 7, 8, 9. We'll keep an eye on these scorpions, as again, now, here we go. The light cavalry clears up more trebs. Survivalist is holding about as well as possible here. But again, this is now a war of attrition. Out of 130 villagers, he's got 13 of them here repairing a siege. But that is so micro intensive to micro these individual clumps of villagers. They do not know what to do unless you tell them specifically what to do. How are our friends down south from 8 kills to 28? Are you effing kidding me? 27. 28 villager kills. 29. 29, 29, 29. Oh my god. We've seen this happen to Survivalist a few times here and there. He just loses focus on one part of the screen. Looks like Roman cavalry is getting shooed away. But no more stone for our Briton. He's got 5,000 wood for some reason. Might want to start selling that wood. Okay, clips a bunch of these. Are you kidding me? These 2 are still alive? 31. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. How many kills? 30 villager kills. We'll have seen whatever the hell happened there in picture in picture. It looks like an onager shot flattened both friend and foe. And there is committed tenses for the Roman. Nightline units, militia line units, centurions, all trained 50% faster and all come with a +5 charge attack. You'll see the white bar underneath the cavalier. That is the +5, so they initially attack on a 19, and then that goes down to the usual 14 until he gets blast furnace, and then that goes up to 16. There's a lot of trebs here. Our Briton is holding fantastically. Oh, but now he's fighting cavaliers with a charge attack with light cavalry units. At the same time, though, he is going to start losing trebs. Again, this is the absolute Achilles heel for the Britons. They've literally got nothing to take down siege rams, unless, again, we're talking about champions. In which case, bye-bye any champion who even dreams about approaching. Maybe +2 is too much of an attack bonus against siege. Maybe +1 against siege weapons. Give them something, a little bit of hope. Treb is getting bolted down. Survivalist has entered the rear of his base. This is the last place any player wants to be, is holed up inside his base after losing his 2 castles. And look at how long it takes this freaking light cavalry unit. Fair enough, it only has iron casting. But look at how, pardon me, wait a second, what am I missing here? It's attacking on a +2, but he only has forging? Is this a converted light cavalry unit? That might be a converted light cavalry unit. It also has bloodlines, so it's definitely a converted light cavalry unit. Okay, that's what I'm looking at. So much gold spent on the halberdier upgrade, only to have the halberdiers get gunned down by these ballistic scorpions. But okay, onager, will he get a second shot? He does not. Okay, units are being converted here. That's good. Survivalist finally adding some monks, or at least making use of his monks. But again, look at this jumbled mass of humanity. This is literally the battle between who is it, Boadicea and Suetonius, where the Iceni had like 300,000 troops. What was it? The Battle of Watling Road, I think, in 60 AD. I remember in school taking a wills and estates class in law school and bringing the Iceni revolt against the Romans up to class, because the whole revolt happened because, oh, I can never remember Boadicea's husband's name. It's one of those old-timey Briton named Protagutagus. He left in his will all of the lands to the joint ownership of his wife and the Romans, and then the Romans were like, nah, we're just gonna take it all. So it was an entire revolt against the Romans started because of the interpretation of a will. Isn't that funny? Isn't history weird and funny like that? I brought that up in law school once, and no one had any freaking clue what I was talking about. What I'm going to talk about here is a whole bunch of dead halberdiers, though. They are going face forward into these Roman scorpions. Remember, Roman scorpions have minimum 1 range, which means these guys don't even need to move. Oh, that's so painful to watch. Oh my goodness. Survivalist secures for the meantime. I mean, his army count is the same as his opponent, but he's stuck inside these walls. And stuck he is as he GGs. The Bloodless takes map control. And again, like a toddler whose toy that he didn't even want was given to someone else, all of a sudden he wants it. Everybody wants it. Everyone's playing the Romans with ballistics and scorpions. Did he get ballistas? Okay, that's good. So the attack speed is now 33% faster, 2.7 instead of the usual 3.5. And what a fun game. The Briton held on as long as humanly possible. But what the hell can the Britons do now where he's facing off against Centurions? Literally 4 seconds away from Legionaries. Look at these guys. They're just waiting antsy in the pantsy to get their fresh armor, their short sword, their round shield, and their big old cloaks. And how many barracks? Doesn't seem like a lot of barracks. Pardon me, doesn't seem like a lot of barracks. 11 barracks. Although, to be fair, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them have not even started construction. 5 siege workshops, 12 stables. This is the build. This is the military industrial complex of a player who has absolutely zero concern about losing map control. Literally zero concern. There's no chance Survivalist is contesting this gold, contesting any of these structures. He has just been pinned back in his base literally for the last 28 minutes. He's been pinned back. He lost his 2 forward castles. And again, let me know, what do you think the Britons need here? Because again, civilizations like the Celts, now the Romans, basically anybody with heavy scorpions and ballistics, which is not a small amount of civilizations. Are they going to be struggling now? I don't know that ballistas is really what made the difference here. I think ballistics is what made the difference originally. Although, to be fair, with the Onager and Siege Engineers, that 9 range is an absolute fantastic deterrent to the 8 range. But 1 tile of range is just still 1 tile of range. And then the Scorpions close, they fire their bolts, the bolts don't miss, and down goes the Onager before he can get off his second volley. Should the Briton Onagers fire faster? Look at that, 6-second reload time compared to 2.7. So sure, the first volley from the Onager will kill this Scorpion, maybe damage this one a little bit, but then the other 3 close in, and they fire 6 bolts before this guy can fire a second shot. And those 6 bolts are going to kill him. Wow. Okay. Let me know, what do you think? Do the Britons need anything? Am I just romanticizing the Britons too much here? And then even look at Survivalist making every inch count, every spare space available count here as he puts up a stiff resistance. 239 kills to 268, but 89 kills, villager kills to 5. And those 2 Scorpions down here at the end of the day probably ended up getting, what, like 40 villager kills before they died? So half of this Roman villager kill count is just 2 units. Are they still alive, by the way? I can't imagine they're still alive. No, but these fresh pair, this fresh quartet has 16 kills. I mean, look at them just face down in the dirt. That's what you get when you go after a ballistic Scorpion. And Survivalist, unfortunately, has some cool units. Longbowmen, not upgraded, no yeomans. That's a very expensive upgrade. Maybe make this upgrade cheaper. I don't know. Maybe make that cheaper. They're also not elite, and so he is stuck at 10 range. And again, the damage output of a longbowman is 10 right now, 11 when they're elite, which is good but not great. Something needs to be done, and I think the longbowman and a small attack bonus maybe against siege is something I've been thinking about recently. As I watch the Romans, oh my god, again I did it, the Britons struggle over and over against heavy siege forward civilizations. Although maybe they're not meant to do so well against siege forward civilizations. 101 Scorpions, 61 Longbowmen, light cavalry towards the end, but the Roman adds in 29 Cavaliers of his own, 56 Halberdiers, PKPM similar for both players, 36 minutes in for red, right at the beginning of the game for blue. How many conversions do we think? We'll check it out in a second, but mamma mia, that's 18,000 more resources. That is a 20 to 25% bigger economy for our Roman, who gets all 4 resources and an extra 1,000 or so relic gold. Only 4 conversions. Interesting. We saw the 1 light cav. We saw the 2 cavaliers. I guess he got 1 more after that or before that. But raisings, not really that crazy. Kill count, pretty damn good for a 49-minute game. But again, the Romans proving themselves to be the historically accurate pair here as they absolutely plunder the Briton base. They absolutely quash and squash and destroy Briton resistance to Roman rule. And the will be damned, it is the Romans who take the land, take the plunder, take the booty, take the W. The Bloodless is victorious, but GG, fantastic defense out of our Briton for the longest of times to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.